Virginia Luppino of Indivisible Ulster. The clear winners of the November election are America's 815 billionaires. They now hold a record-shattering 6.7 million of our national treasure. Now, Republicans have promised to protect and expand those riches with more tax cuts. With their extreme, unchecked wealth, billionaires are being allowed to dominate our society, destabilize our economy, and endanger our democracy, while often paying little to no federal taxes.
Shame, shame. I'm Miriam from Columbia County, and New York 19 votes. The Republicans-controlled Congress wants to make permanent the Trump tax cut for the rich, which would otherwise expire at the end of this year. Continued tax cuts for the rich will result in slashing services we need. Republicans are considering what to target, including from childcare to healthcare and much more, to fund these tax cuts for the wealthy. Republicans' chaotic attempt at the budget freeze have already hurt people across the lifespan, from children to adults, from Head Start to Meals on Wheels. Do you, like me, rely on Medicare? Do you have a loved one in a home funded by Medicare? Are you a veteran who gets health care funded by the government? You and all of us will suffer from the cuts being planned. We need fairness and compassion, not breaks for the wealthy and blatant disregard for meeting our needs. Let's all fight for fair funding that does meet our needs. Join us.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ken Terry from Left Field in Massachusetts. And as Miriam noted, Trump and the Republicans in Congress want to extend the 2017 tax cuts for the wealthy. And that would mean about $5 trillion being added to the national debt over the next 10 years. Now, Trump knows that there are some conservatives in the House that would not vote for any bill that would increase the national debt. So he has unleashed Elon Musk to reduce federal spending. That's why we're looking at USAID being shut down. It's why 2 million federal employees are being offered buyouts if they quit. It's also why Congress is looking at cutting Medicaid, SNAP, and other social programs. Meanwhile, Trump's tariffs are targeted at filling the Treasury at the expense of the American people. We're the ones who will have to pay higher prices for imports in order to finance tax cuts for billionaires. So Democrats must act to try to prevent the super rich from getting more tax breaks on the backs of hardworking Americans. We should urge our Democrats in Congress to fight to build an economy that benefits all Americans by ensuring that the wealthy and corporations pay their fair share of taxes.
Congressman Pat Ryan is currently in Washington, D.C. Here on his behalf is Deputy Chief of Staff Dan Torres.
Hi, everybody. So weird having my back to you all, but that's okay. I am not Pat Ryan, but he's busy in D.C., and I'm really happy that he is in D.C. fighting for us and representing us, and especially at a moment like this. And, just recently, Congressman Ryan became a co-sponsor of the Taxpayer Data Protection Act. I think you can get a little bit of what that is, but that's also about stopping Elon Musk. He has been standing up to the Trump administration who's looking to make cuts at Castle Point to impact not only our local veterans, but veterans all across the country. And of course, shame, indeed. And of course, he's continuing to stand up for reproductive justice, which is a fight that is happening in our backyard, literally in our backyard, right here in Ulster County as well. And all of this has been happening, and it's been 3 weeks, right? It's pretty wild to think about that. But for a second, I actually want to take you back 3 weeks ago. I'm channeling my inner Pat Ryan here as much as I can. 3 weeks ago was a cold day. It was so cold that Trump moved his swearing in indoors. And I actually think this is a really important thing because people all across the country, his supporters, including right here in the Hudson Valley, spent thousands of dollars to go to DC. They bought hotel rooms, they had plane tickets, meals, all the rest, and Donald Trump left them outside. In the cold.
Just like all of us.
But who did he bring inside?
All the rich guys.
Elon Musk and a bunch of billionaires,
The oligarchs.
and he sat them in front of his own cabinet members. And I think there's nothing more symbolic than that, than President Trump taking his oath of office in a room just like that, with his own supporters sitting outside in the cold. So Congressman Ryan is not able to be here today because there's a lot of things going on in DC, but he did want me to come here to thank you all for being here, thank you all for using your voice and speaking loudly, and to reassure you all that he's going to continue to fight for you all in DC. Thank you guys so much.
Congressman Josh Riley is at work in Washington and sent us this statement. For too long in this country, the deck has been stacked against working people, and it's been stacked in favor of the wealthy, the powerful, and the big corporations. Make no mistake, that's what Elon Musk and Doge are all about. They want more giveaways for his big corporations and more tax breaks for Elon and his billionaire buddies, and they want all of us to pay for it. We're not going to let that happen.
Now I'm pleased to introduce State Senator Michelle Hinchey, who is fighting on our behalf.
Hello, everyone. When I say tax cuts, you say not for billionaires. Tax cuts. Not for billionaires. Tax cuts. Not for billionaires. And yet that is what we are facing right now. I want to be very clear and say that what we are experiencing at the federal level is not normal. We have effectively a shadow government of billionaires and oligarchs, the wannabe oligarchs of this country, who are making choices on behalf of the American people who did not elect them. And it's not that we did not vote for Donald Trump, it's that Elon Musk was not on the ballot. Mark Zuckerberg was not on the ballot. Other billionaires were not on the ballot. And yet they are making choices, they are hiring people and invading our agencies and removing people from their jobs without any actual authority. And yet our federal government, our president, is allowing that to happen. They are making choices on what that means for you and me and you and our neighbors and everyone else across this country without any responsibility to what it is that we need or who we are or what we want for our future. Most of the campaign arguably came down to affordability. Affordability was in every conversation at every level of government in every campaign across the country. And yet now, in execution of, in the moment, supposed to be putting in place the policies to help working people and everyday Americans deal with affordability and the affordability crisis. Instead, we're jacking up costs for goods across the country with unnecessary tariffs that are actually being used more as sanctions than they are as tariffs. We're looking at tax cuts for working people who can't afford their rent or their utility bills, or not tax cuts, we're actually looking for tax increases for people who cannot afford their utility bills or their rent, and tax cuts for people who have billions of dollars in the bank and who are shareholders on shares for other billion-dollar corporations across the country. That is not an answer to the affordability crisis. That is doubling down on the affordability crisis. And we cannot and we will not stand for it. And so this group, thank you. This group and so many others like it across the country are coming together to do everything we can as everyday Americans to push back on the nonsense and to push back on the fear and the chaos that is happening at the federal government, because it's our responsibility to not stay quiet. It's our responsibility to say this isn't normal. It's our responsibility to wake people up and let them know that it's okay to be concerned about this moment and to recognize that it's not just a different party that's governing, but it's a complete abolishment of the ideals and the institutions that we believe in America, in our American democracy. That's what's happening right now. And so we will keep fighting. We've got great partners at the federal level. We will keep fighting at the state level to make sure that New York State continues to stand up for the values that we believe in as New Yorkers. And thank you all for using your voices in this moment to fight for what we know is right. Thank you.
When veterans' health is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up.
Hey, when Meals on Wheels is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up.
When Social Security is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up.
When Medicare is under attack, what do we do?
Stand